Sorry, concrete mega weak. Alright then folks, so that on the floor there is the old one side of the oil tank that I salvaged in the summertime. What's going on with the lighting here? Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I've been procrastinating on this one a little bit, I'm afraid. It's just going to be a very long and tedious cutting and weldathon. Straight lines, no thinking, just making the concrete moulds to go on top of the bench down here. Vibrating bench. I'd originally planned on making these moulds out of glass fibre, but I figured that'd be okay. If I keep the moulds, I can make more. If I keep glass fibre moulds, I can make more glass fibre moulds every time they wear out. But I think having made the pillars with the glass fibre moulds, which it was quite successful, but I really saw the wear in the moulds after making 4 pillars. Yeah, and that's just not it's not going to be okay. Is it? I can't make a new set of moulds every 4 roof beams. So these moulds are for the ceiling and wall sections. Yeah. We do them in steel, they'll last for as long as I need them to last, and what shouldn't give me any hassle. We should have plain sailing, and they should hold up better on the vibrating bench. Yeah. I've massively redesigned them, so I was originally looking at sections foot wide, so that each section would do a foot of tunnel and 6 inches deep. Then I cast the doorway sections around that sort of size, or that's a sort of funny shapes that locks into the cut pipe. Just realised what an enormous quantity of concrete it was, and it was always in my mind that I'd have to produce some sort of lifting and handling device for setting these in place. But I've kind of come to the conclusion now that I think things will go a lot quicker if I make these sections light enough so that I can handle them. Yeah, so sort of anything up to 40-50 kilo is going to be a little bit of a backbreaker, but I will be able to handle them. I'll be able to put them in place, maybe by hand, but mostly I'll be able to get them down there by hand, definitely at that sort of weight. Yeah, as opposed to the sort of 120 kilo plus that each of those side pieces for the doorway came out. Yeah, so I've done this by going from 6 inch to 4.5 inch depth, minimum thickness of 2 inches down to 35 inches, 2 inches down to 35 mil. What's that? 1.25 inches plus, inch and 3/8, I suppose. I don't know. And also, rather than going a foot, we'll go 8 inches. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll actually end up using more steel than we would have done, which is bad because steel's at an all-time high at the minute, or maybe it's coming down. I don't know. Maybe it's plateaued, but either way, it's fucking expensive. So we'll use more steel, but we'll use dramatically less concrete, so it'll cost less as well, which is a bit of a bonus right now because times are hard, my boy. that old chestnut. Yeah, money's getting harder to come by, and things are costing more, aren't they? So a few little trimmings on the bits that are going to be mass produced is welcome. Yeah. All right. So I mean, there's nothing really for it. I just I'm not at all enthusiastic about this. Yeah, it's just going to be cleaning rusty painted metal, setting it up, tacking it, welding it, cutting some more. This isn't even all of it. You've got the little strips on the bottom there, but yeah, it's quite a few 9-inch cutting discs to get that far. It's 3 mil thick steel, so it's substantial enough, I think. And then we'll web and reinforce it with some bits that I've already got cut up. Yeah. So, having mentioned that I was just getting started on the arc welding, Dangerous Dave appeared today like a beautiful Cockney angel up from the south with a handful of, more than a handful, a van load of all sorts of amazing bits and bobs he's procured for me, eh? Look at these genuine ESAB. These ones are 6017, I think, or 6013, sorry. 6013 from ESAB, more ESAB. This is Babcock welding product, eh? I bet they were expensive, weren't they? Look at that, all sealed. But he says I've got to sort out some sort of storage before I open half of these, because some of these don't like, you know, but definitely not the environment I've got here. But he also told me to stop mincing around with the little what have I been using, 2.5mm rods on this 3mm steel, and yeah, you know, as soon as I start using the 3.2 rods, things start looking a little bit prettier and going a bit quicker. So hey, cheers mate, anyway. Okay, going reasonably well, folks. I'm going to have a lot of grinding to do, aren't I? Done! What a lot of welding! What a lot of welding! We're there, I think we're there. Now there's just, you know, about 3 days worth of grinding to do on them, eh? Alright, let's get started on that, eh? Okay, so I got everything welded up, ground down, welded up again, and then ground it down again. Took me ages, losing the will to live, but you know, we got close enough. And then I decided I was going to run a bead of silicon around the concave radiuses, the negative radiuses, if you like. Yeah, should we go with that? Let's go with that. So that's covering up the welds. It should give me a lovely finish, and if this silicon pulls off and it's happening too frequently, I'll just carry on welding until they come out nice. This is the one that's going to get used the most, obviously, because there's 2 of these per ceiling section. Again, I was going to go with steel sides, but I found a cheap supplier of scaffold boards. I think I'm going to go with these instead. It's going to make it easier to locate the dowels for the bolt holes. So what I'm doing now, got to drill these. It's not entirely necessary, but I'd like to have them so So what? No, being a wall section, these have to be sided because the wall section isn't symmetrical from the centre line lengthwise, like the roof sections are. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do basically, we'll drill a series of holes in the bottom of this, and then put some thread inserts into the timber and have it bolt from the ends. And also, for all of these in use, they'll need some sort of clamp to keep them actually on the bench. So what we'll do, we'll only have this clamped up at the ends. Yeah, a little bit risky, I hear you say. And then the pins will locate along the length, and then the two giant clamps, which will be usable on all the moulds, will clamp down here and here, I suppose, but on the timber, so it will press it all together. Yeah? I think this will work. This will definitely work. I don't think it will work. I know it will work. Alright, let's do it.
Quickly, it can go about 70 degrees of its circle in 8 seconds, so that's very quick. To then have a two-motion movement where first of all the ammunition round is rammed into the breech, followed by the charge, which is rammed in. And as part of that process, if there's a stub casing from the charge from the previous one, that's ejected out, and there's a hole in the roof at the back of the turret that goes out of. So they can get the firing.
Okay, so I've just about finished these bloody moulds, folks. Hey, bane of my life. I don't know why I found it so tedious, but I did find this one tedious. Pretty simple, you know. The thought of doing this was pretty simple. There's nothing particularly complicated here. It's just the cutting and welding and grinding was, I don't know, boring, really boring. I'm not the best at what do you call it? Motivating myself when I've got a boring job to do, you know. Especially not if I think about it for too long, because then it ends up dragging, and then I'll get less motivated as I go along. But you know, it's not your problem, is it, eh? Right. So we've got 3 moulds here: wall, hallway, and doorway. I'll show you how this doorway one goes together. Alright, so we've got some dowels here. This is actually broom handle. It's cheap and cheerful, and these are disposable. These are going to make the bolt holes in the concrete far easier to cast than to try and drill them, try and make the holes after the event. And what I did, put these metal plates on, and these are centred on the holes in the sides of the moulds. Yeah, and this basically saves me having to drill centred holes in these dowels. That was longer than the others. What's gone off here then? Alright, let's forget about that one. Anyway, we can pop them in the back. Nice tight fit. And that'll hold it where it wants to be. Put another one up here. see? You can just about see. Yeah. Right. And then, yeah, that's the side. This is another side. Oh, this has got holes in it as well. Let's pop that one in there. Don't worry about the screw for now. He goes in there like that. And then on this one, the sides just bolt on because it's quite short. Yeah, the others have got pins going down from the sides into the base. I made a mistake with this one. The sides were too close because this one isn't separated by a piece of metal. And I only realised after I'd finished it, so I had to go back and cut all the holes. And then weld wash all over it, and it was a little bit tedious. But we're there now, eh? We're there now. Another job's jobbed. Right, there we go. So we're going to pour concrete in this, and then vibrate the vibration machine, and hopefully it will consolidate everything nicely. We'll probably get the sawdust out of there first. I don't know what's going to happen as far as taking it out of it is concerned. Whether or not I'll try and take it out dry, wet, sorry, because you know part of the reason of doing this shaker bench was that I can put my cement in really dry. But we'll have a little play around with that. But either way, it's done. They're all done, and I can get making my concrete precast, can't I now? The only thing I've got to do, oh yeah, I put the I put the different engine on here. That's all fine, all set up. Still need to make an air filter for this engine. I had to switch this around because pulley's spinning the other direction, so the guide is on top now and the clutch tensioner is on the bottom. Because this is a variable speed engine, I did think about just hooking this throttle up to the pedal as well, so she spools up when I touch the pedal, and then the clutch engages. Might do that, it shouldn't take too long, whatever though, not a necessity. Then I've got to make some rebar for these. I have to be pretty accurate because obviously I've not got much space. I can't afford to have the rebar poking out the side, can I? So that's another little job. Either way, I'll get all that done. I'm not going to make a video on any of that. Next time you'll see this is at the beginning of production for this segment to the underground bunker, which will be excellent, won't it? I hope you agree. Alright. Okay, well that's that. This is this. And I suppose I'll catch you next time, folks, eh? I hope you enjoyed that more than I did, because I, for whatever reason, I did not enjoy myself with this. But, you know, I'm enjoying the fact that it's done now, yeah? So, I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.